Osman Kavala is a prominent human rights defender who has been behind bars for nearly 1,000 days because in Turkey, human rights defenders are thrown in jail, falsely accused of being terrorists or spies. But Osman is not a criminal. He defends rights and freedoms. Back in 2013, he had taken part in FIDH's World Congress in Istanbul, which the Turkish president at the time, Abdullah Gül, had also attended. Today, Mr. President, the world is watching you. Free Osman Kavala. Free all human rights defenders.
Osman Kavala's detention epitomizes the fictions behind President Erdogan's increasingly autocratic rule. Erdogan can't admit that people spontaneously rose up against him during the Gezi Park protests, so he pretends ridiculously that Kavala was an instigator. Erdogan can't admit that he has many peaceful critics, so he tries to tar Kavala, a prominent one, with the absurd claim that he joined the coup attempt. Osman Kavala's detention is an utter injustice. On his 1,000th day, I stand with Osman Kavala and call for his immediate release.
Osman Kavala's arrest and 1,000-day detention demonstrate the absence of the rule of law in Turkey. After he was acquitted on the first absurd charges, a second set of absurd charges were quickly fabricated against him. The authorities refused to implement a European court judgment calling for his release. Osman should be released immediately. We stand with you, Osman.
Osman Kavala's ongoing arrest after the acquittal in the Gezi trial and the ruling of the European Court of Human Rights raises serious concerns about the rule of law in Turkey. The court in Strasbourg clearly established that the arrest seeks to silence Osman Kavala. I remain deeply worried about the state of the rule of law and fundamental freedoms in Turkey. Osman Kavala and the civil society in Turkey can count on my continuous solidarity. Set Osman Kavala free.
For almost 1,000 days by now, Osman Kavala is arbitrarily detained in Turkish prison. Regardless the official charges against him, charges that were rejected by the European Court of Human Rights, I believe that Osman is in jail because he is a civil society activist and he is a human rights defender, because he is trying to defend the freedom in Turkey.
Osman Kavala has become a symbol, unfortunately. A symbol and a test on the sincerity of the Turkish government and Turkish judiciary on regard of human rights. I can assure you Osman's Silivri prison is not so far from this corridor. I evoke your name in many cases, and all the colleagues dealing with Turkish issues are aware of your situation. We are pushing and pushing again for real justice in Turkey.
My name is Mary Lawler and I am the UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights Defenders. Osman Kavala has been a leading figure in Turkish civil society for decades and should never have been put in prison. I join with many others across the world calling for his immediate release and the immediate release of all other jailed human rights defenders in Turkey. Thank you.
Frontline Defenders expresses its heartfelt solidarity with human rights defender Osman Kavala. He marks his 1,000th day held unjustly in prison. It's a reflection of the failure of the Turkish government to uphold basic human rights standards, and we call for the immediate and unconditional release of Osman.